Jay, back at home this weekend against Nuneaton. It's been a while since you've had a home game. Is it time, do you think, to start making the Brewery feel a bit of a fortress?
It's mad really, because I think our performances at home have been decent, although the results haven't shown that. And I think they've been better than the away performances, where we've been a little bit more dogged and haven't conceded a lot of goals. So I mean, results have gone a little bit better away from home, but I think performances on the whole have gone a lot better. But yeah, you're right, it's about results, isn't it? And I think our last performance against FC United was good. Could have possibly scored a couple more, but we need to make sure that we know it's going to be a difficult game, because the table, in my opinion, is a false. They're in a false position. They've got some quality players. The addition of Baker in the midfield, he's a top quality player, and him being on the field for them has obviously galvanised them. They had a great win at Curzon last week, and it just shows you the strength of the team when the game's called off with international call-ups. So we're under no illusion it's going to be an easy game, and that's what I don't want the fans to think. Well, because they're near the bottom, it's going to be a foregone conclusion, because it certainly isn't.
And what type of game are you expecting? I remember back in March last season, Nuneaton came here and beat us 1-0 when we were near the playoffs. What type of game are you expecting on Saturday?
I think they've got a lot of young lads. I think they've got a lot of quality, a lot of pace in the team. And they've got lads who can play, so it's going to be one of them where we need to make sure that our quality shines through. There's never any easy games in this league. You just have to look at the Saturday's fixtures and then see the results at 5 o'clock. They're all over the place, and that's the quality of the league. Unfortunately, if you're not at the races any given day, you get punished. So it's one of them. We've got to make sure that we plan and prepare well. The lads are in good spirits. There's good camaraderie amongst the group. The new lads have come in and settled in really well, and it's important that we build on the foundations that we've done over the last 4 or 5 games.
And one thing that's been consistent this season is your team selection. You often pick the same team, but with the likes of Boys and Anderson come off the bench last week and getting the goals, are you ever tempted to change things up?
Yeah, of course we are. We have reports sent across. But for me, I think a lot of the times the players pick the team, and if players have done well, they deserve to stay in the team. And it's sometimes that doesn't happen, whether it's a change in formation or whatever. But you've got lads who are knocking on the door now. I mean, Ryan Hall's had a bit part season because of injury, and he's that's the way it's gone for him, because the last couple of games he's come off the bench, he's made a big difference and set 2 goals up. But unfortunately, he hasn't been able to start the following game because of injury. So he's hopefully going to be back on Saturday in the squad. So is Rob Atkinson, who's a great signing for us. So there's a lot of quality in depth, not just in the 11, not just the 16, but the lads who are even knocking into the squad. So it is horses for courses, really.
And finally, I don't know whether you've seen it, but there's been an article published this week about the National League longest serving managers currently. There's no surprise you're top, but do you know off the top of your head how many days you've been in charge at Spennymoor Town? Because the stats are all there.
I think the last count, somebody would tell me it was over 600. I know that. Is that right?
So complete days from when you first took over to now?
Is that a maths question?
It's not. There's a stat. I've got the stat right in front of us.
It must be a couple of thousand days.
It's 4,151 days you've been in charge. How proud does that make you feel? The longest serving manager in the National League currently?
Yeah, it makes me feel old. Makes me feel old, certainly. I mean, that's ironic that you've just mentioned that tonight, because as I was driving into train, I heard that the Hereford guy had lost his job, and it's just crazy, the amount of managers. I mean, he's took them to 3 promotions. He was at Wembley, and people think this league's, you're just going to steamroll the league, and it isn't. And it's a fantastic. I didn't even know that, to be honest, but it's mightily proud. But you're only as good as your last result, and I remember a couple of the supporters the other week moaning about the result against Telford, and that's fun. Football fans, you don't rest on your laurels, whether you're in charge of 10 games, 20 games, or like you say, nearly 700 games. But my aim is to get this club promoted or as best we can to get in the playoffs and see where we go at the end of the season, and that's my aim for this season.